Good evening. This is Tammy, the president of Fun and Adventure at Singles Travel International. And tonight we are getting together virtually for what we call our meet and greet. It's an event that we have approximately 2 weeks before we take everybody on an exciting vacation to go over all of the details and answer everybody's questions. This particular program is Vietnam, Cambodia, and the Mekong River, all singles cruise because we've chartered the entire departure from land to sea. And we're going to go over everything step by step, taking questions as we go, and then we'll do more Q&A at the end to make sure that everybody is prepared. This is a 2-week vacation, so there are a lot of details. Our document that we share with you is something that we call the final vacation details and meetup information. It's 20 pages long. So it's got a lot of information. I'm really going to be referencing that document tonight and bringing out the highlights. So I'm going to start with, first of all, this email you would have received in your inbox last week. We give you several days to take a look at this before tonight's event, so you are prepared with your questions. It comes into your inbox with the title of the name of the trip and then a download and a reminder about tonight's event. So once you download the document, it looks like this. And I'm going to jump right into page 1. We include a major checklist for you of the mandatory things or almost mandatory things that you need to check off before you go. And so very importantly for this particular trip, we needed visas. You need a single or a multiple entry visa for Vietnam and Cambodia, depending on your itinerary. Some members added an extra pre-cruise package or pre-program package in Hanoi and Ha Long Bay, which is in North Vietnam. So then you'll have to have a multiple entry or a double entry visa for Vietnam. I've spoken to everybody, so I know that you all have it. So I'm going to move on to the next point, which is a valid passport for 6 months after your return. Sometimes people think that they are able to travel if their passport ends, let's say, November 30th, we come home, or our trip ends on the 30th. You think that's good enough? But in actuality, the countries to which we're visiting, they want to make sure that you're going to go back home, right? So they want to make sure that your passport is good so that you're going to return to your own home country. So that's what that's all about. So this is a great time to check your passports. If there's an emergency, you still have some time to rush and get a new one. Hopefully everybody's done that, and I believe that you've all spoken with me and we're in good shape. The next item on the checklist here is travel insurance. It's not mandatory, but after 32 years of doing travel internationally, I've seen it all. We've seen it all. And I wouldn't leave home without it. Some people have been very lucky. I have a feeling that the crowd here tonight, they're all well traveled. They've all had at least one incident, and they're pretty outspoken in favor of getting insurance. If you haven't done it yet, just email me or ping me. Our email address is service@singlestravelintl.com, and we'll get you a quote right away. Multiple options there, depending on what you want to cover. And we're able to put it in a summary format so you can make the best decision. I wouldn't go without insurance. On that subject, I don't have this topic in the letter, but it is still possible while traveling these days that you get some kind of a sniffle, the flu, anything can happen. Good reason to have insurance for that. But also, even though we're not in the midst of a pandemic, it is still alive and well. Most of the departures that we've had this year, somebody comes down with something. So I want to say that if you're prone to want to protect yourself, if there is some kind of exposure, and I'm just talking about the regular things like COVID, a cold, a flu, bring your own equipment, bring your masks, bring your hand gel. A good idea anyway for Asia. A lot of places might not have soap in the bathrooms. So we're going to practice your normal hygiene and then bring any materials that you want to bring just in case there's some kind of an exposure and you want to wear a mask for a while, bring that with you. Everybody has already completed the fit and willing, so thank you for that. That's really important. I'm going to move to page 2 here in the document where we expand on the checklist. And right now I'm going to talk about the WhatsApp. If I think almost everybody these days is using WhatsApp. It's phenomenal. I love all these modern things, even though it takes us a little while. We're all over 50 and then some. It takes us a little while to get to know these, but it's a wonderful way for us to communicate using other people's internet. So we have 2 ways that we use our phones. We have our own 5G, right? If you have an iPhone or you have an Android, you've got your own subscription with your phone company. But while we're internationally, you may use that. Some of us get it for free. Some of us have to pay a fee. If you're in a location that has free Wi-Fi, you're able to go onto your WhatsApp account and send messages, talk on the phone. It's very powerful. Now, I want to say to you that it's really absolutely critical that you get comfortable with WhatsApp. If you've already done it, great. What I'd like you to do right now, if you're listening, grab your phone, send me a WhatsApp message. I'm at 815-715-6998. So that's 815-715-6998. I'll give you a minute to kind of pull up your WhatsApp. Some of the members have already sent me a message. Many of you are already in my system, but once I get your email, your text message, I'll put your name in my phone so I know it's you. This is going to be very helpful on travel days, much less once we get there. I will use WhatsApp to give you your daily updates. If anything changes, I'm going to send a message to everybody via WhatsApp. So when you're traveling to Hanoi or to Siem Reap, because we're split as a group in terms of how we're arriving, if you have any trouble whatsoever, I would like you to send me, hi Barb, I would like you to send me a message on WhatsApp. I'll tell you a quick story. We had a group going to Romania in August, and one of the gals, we have the same request at the meet and greet, and she wasn't familiar with it and she didn't avail. So we were missing her for 24 hours. We knew she had a flight. We knew that her flight came and she wasn't on it. I called her emergency contact. Anyway, she was kind of missing in action. She eventually showed up. We had to send a driver to the airport twice to try to see if she was on the next flight, because we're not able to get the information. We only have your schedule, but the airlines, for privacy reasons, won't let us know if you boarded or not. So it's very mysterious. And we just want to make sure that when you arrive, we're there to meet you and that you're feeling safe. And it's sometimes unnerving when you're on the road and you can't reach anybody. So this is the best way. So I want to make sure everybody's on WhatsApp. So go ahead and send me a message. If you're watching this after the live presentation, take a minute to do that. If you don't know how to do WhatsApp, and I won't identify you tonight, please call me tomorrow. Call me after you've seen this and let me know that you need help, and I will do a private session. In fact, at the end of tonight's event, I can do a screencast with my cell phone and show you how to do it. I can show you at least how to put my name in there and get you started. So we'll leave that till the end. Thanks, Carol. Thanks, everybody. Karen, I got yours too. Perfect. So get comfortable with WhatsApp. If you need help, stay late or set up an appointment with me so we can do a one-on-one. I want to make sure you're in it and comfortable before you leave, because that would be the critical part. Once we get on the vacation, I can show you lots of technical things if you're open to learning. Okay, the next thing on the checklist was to, thank you, everybody, is to check in with Avalon Waterways. Now, you won't be able to do this until after November 7th. That's point number 6 on the checklist. But when you click on the My Avalon here, the link in the letter, it'll bring you to a page that looks like this, if you have an account already. If not, it'll prompt you to create a new account. You put in your name and your email address. And then in this box, you're going to put your reservation number and then hit Get Reservation. You'll be able to see all of the excursions that are included in our program, lots of good information, and download the app, which is going to be very helpful while we're on the road because the app has all of our itinerary. I'm going to present everybody with an itinerary, which is going to look like this. We'll give this to you when you get there, but also the Avalon app will also have all of those details. So after November 7th, get in, you'll be able to get, documents, you'll be able to see all the excursions, which by the way, are all included. There's only one day where you have to make a choice. And it's not going to be a problem to do that once we're on the trip itself. So that's the My Avalon. Oh, and by the way, they do ask you for your reservation number. There's a video here that tells you how to get that. It's inside your order. Again, if you can't find it, send me a WhatsApp or email us at service and we'd be happy, we'll be happy to help you. But if you watch the video, if you're new to locating your reservation numbers with us on the Singles Travel International page, instructions are located here.
Tammy,
Yes.
I tried to do that, but I still can't find the reservation number. I got
Okay.
in and
When did you do? I loaded them this morning.
okay. I did it a couple of days ago. Okay.
Okay. I loaded them this morning, so you should be able to see that now. Thanks. Getting there. I'm going to move to page 4. And in the same vein with the WhatsApp, you're going to be arriving into a foreign country where they may not all be speaking English, and it's often unsettling for people to travel a long way and get to this strange land and nobody speaks your language. So we have organized a transfer for all of you, and your information is listed on page, this is on page 5. Please take a minute later, today, tomorrow, before we leave, to take a look at this and make sure we got it right. This is your information that you put into the fit and willing form. Make sure we have the correct or most updated information. We are using a local transportation company. Avalon Waterways set it up, so they're communicating with them directly, and this is the information that we gave them. So if it's incorrect, you can see right here, it just says email us, service@singlestravelintl.com with your updated information, and we'll go ahead and change it. Now, with that said, we work with Avalon for many years. They are a superb organization. They are hiring third party in Hanoi and in Siem Reap. Sometimes things happen. So I want you to be prepared that I'm going to go back to this page here. When you arrive, you've got my number. If you don't see your driver within 30 minutes, it should have a sign that says Avalon Waterways with your name. Then I'm going to suggest, don't, I can't say don't be nervous, because you might be, depending on what time you get in. But I would just say take a taxi and get the receipt, and I will reimburse you as soon as I see you at the hotel. Avalon Waterways has an emergency number, but my experience is if you're calling them and it's like, so if you arrive in Hanoi or Siem Reap, we're 12 hours ahead of them. In Colorado, we're even 15 hours ahead. Nobody might be there. They're supposed to be there 24/7, but sometimes you don't get the answer right away. And you're just going to be standing there at the airport. So my recommendation is to take a taxi and get I will reimburse you. Now, what's also important is that, for example, I'm going to use this information. The group that's coming into Hanoi, you're going to this hotel here, the Lottie Hotel Hanoi. I would take a picture of this with your phone or have this printed so that you are able to show it to the taxi driver in case they don't speak English. This is the address of your hotel. And the same thing could be done in Siem Reap. This is the worst case scenario. Now, I want you to be prepared for the worst case scenario. They have everybody's information. They should be there, but things sometimes happen. So if it's you, I don't want it to be, and I hope that this all will, with all this explanation, I hope it goes very smoothly, but at least you have a backup plan. So I'm also now going to move on page 4 to baggage. Actually, maybe not on page 4. Where is my baggage?
Page 4, bottom of page 4.
Thank you, Helen. In red, right? Can't miss it. So we have, depending on whether or not you took the pre-cruise or pre-program, because this is a cruise and a tour, so we're so used to saying pre-cruise, but there's a pre-program 3-night package in Hanoi and Halong Bay. If you took that package, you're going to have 2 internal flights. If you didn't take that package, you have 1 internal flight. They both have the same restrictions. We're allowed 1 checked bag per person for 44 pounds. That's 20 kilos. And the dimensions for that bag cannot exceed 62 total linear inches. So you're going, please take out a tape measure to your suitcase and measure the length, the width, and the depth. If you add up all those numbers, so let's say it's 40 times 20 times 2, that's 62 inches. You're okay. It won't be exactly that because your bag's deeper than 2 inches, but you got to take the length, the width, and the depth, or the height, the width, and the depth, and make sure that those 3 numbers add up to 62. For your carry-on, you're allowed 15 pounds, and the dimensions for that, the maximum can be 22 by 14 by 9. So that's a smaller bag than we're used to carrying on in the US carriers, which I would call the typical flight attendant bag. It's a little bit smaller than that. So again, get your tape measure out if you have a bag that's intended, and make sure that it's no bigger than 22 by 14 by 9. It's really a smaller little wheelie bag or a backpack. Or for those of us who've been around a while, you remember like kind of the Samsonites or the little travel bags that travel companies used to send you with your documents in the old days. A little bit smaller that has to fit under your seat in front of you. A lot of the smaller planes don't have the same overhead compartment size that we do on the US carriers. So it's not explicitly written in here, but those are the dimensions. So carry-on, maximum 15 pounds, 22 by 14 by 9. Checked, maximum 44. Total linear inches, 62. Can be any, any combination of that.
Amy, what is this? This restriction is when we get off the airplane and at the airport?
Well, it's run, pretty much we have 2 flights internally. I know that you're in the Hanoi and Halong Bay. So when we fly from Hanoi to Siem Reap and from Siem Reap to Phnom Penh, we're going to be on smaller regional air carriers. And so we're limited to 1 bag. So if you bring 2 bags, you'll have to pay extra. And it starts at $69 up to $96, depending on what that second bag weighs and the size of it. So is it possible to bring two? You could. If everybody brings two, it could be an issue. Some of my suggestions are as follows. So try to pack one bag that you're going to check with your airline from Chicago and one carry-on. And some of my suggestions, first of all of the hotels that we're staying, including the river cruise, have all the amenities in the bathroom: shampoo, conditioner, soap, almost everything that you might need. So you shouldn't, unless you need something really special, you could just use a shampoo and conditioner. So those several bottles you don't need, or you could bring small bottles. It's mostly warm in the destination, other than the 3 days up in Hanoi, and I'll talk about that. So we're wearing lightweight clothing. We're mixing matching colors for being able to minimize what you wear, so you can mix and match. But we're wearing kind of summer clothing. For the area of Angkor Wat, I'm suggesting long pants and long sleeve shirts for sun and bug protection, but lightweight, right? So your clothing should be really lightweight. And we'll have an opportunity at all of the hotels to get laundry done. On board the ship. Laundry, there is an extra cost to it, but it's very inexpensive. Most items are, from $2 to, let's say, $6 for laundry. So it's very inexpensive. And we will be able to get laundry certainly done by the time we get on the cruise ship. So try to pack in, have a bag. If you don't already have a lightweight, suitcases used to weigh 10 to 15 pounds, but now you're able to get them for 4 to 5 pounds. So a very nice lightweight bag, lightweight clothing, limit your toiletries. I would definitely say, maybe two, I know ladies, don't shoot the messenger, 2 pairs of shoes. And yeah, and I'm a roller, so I roll my items, and that helps me fit a lot more in my suitcase. So I hope that those tips are helpful.
Question, Tammy?
Yes,
Um, on cruises, for example, we dress for dinner. Are we not dressing for dinner on this? So we can do away with anything, basically it's whatever you wear, you wear.
yes, on this kind of a vacation, which is pretty typical of river cruise style, even though it's not all cruise, we're 7 nights on land and 7 nights on the cruise. We're pretty on the go every day. And so sometimes we're coming back and we're having lunch, and then we're jumping into an afternoon activity. We come back. Sometimes you just have enough time to get to your cabin, drop off maybe your purchases, freshen up a little bit, and wear the same thing. So there's no evening that has a special requirement. I know our members like to dress a little nicer. That's just how we are. And there's no formal evenings, and we have 2 nights with a little bit of a suggestion. We have a theme night, which we're doing the Autumn Moon Festival, and I'll talk about that when I get to that page. I tried to keep it simple, and I did something that had lots of colors, so it's a very colorful evening, and I'm hoping that everybody has one of those colors in their closet already. And then when we get there, I'll have some props to make it very festive, but you might find accent pieces in the markets as we go. So that's a hope for that night. And then the last night, when we're in Ho Chi Minh City, which is Saigon, previously known as Saigon, we will be at a restaurant. All they suggested was, I put casual chic. They want to make sure that the gentlemen are in pants, not shorts, and shoes, not flip-flops. So it could be a little bit that night, but nothing dressy, right? So it's our farewell, it's our last night. So those are the 2 nights that have a little bit of a suggestion, but I'm going to say for the day-to-day, we're wearing slacks and longer sleeves for sun protection and bugs, which, by the way, none of the areas we're going to are a high risk for malaria. So it's not a recommendation to take anti-malarials. That's up to you and your doctor. But as far as the clothing goes, I would wear if you need to sun protect long sleeve, but lightweight. Slacks when we're in Angkor Wat, especially that day, long sleeve and slacks for that sun and bug protection. Nothing fancy. So like you'll see me in this yellow shirt a lot. I will wear it morning, noon, and night. You might be at dinner in the same outfit unless it's hot and you want to change. But again, you could wear yoga pants. You could wear, you know, a little sundress with something to cover up if you get a little chilly in the evening on board, but nothing that is a requirement for fancy. But on the subject of fancy and upscale, we've got the spas. So on several of the pages 7, 9, and 14, the hotels that we are staying are 5-star. They are the bomb. So anything that you can imagine in terms of amenities, and spa treatments are available. So we put the links to their menus and an email to the hotel. So if you are a spa person, and we also included, let me take, for example, on page 7, let's see if this one has some information about the free times. Yeah, on page 8 here, for example, spa treatments at the Park Hyatt in Siem Reap on November 19th and the 20th, we're absolutely going to be free time at the hotel from 3 to 5. Now, on the 19th, there is a little opportunity for some afternoon market, but it's at leisure and it's on our own. So you're not going to miss anything if you want to do a spa treatment that day on the 19th or the 20th from 3 to 5. I'm going to do a float and chill party one of those days too, because all of the pools at these hotels are phenomenal. And so please send an email to the hotel. I've already been in contact with them. They know we're coming and they just said, send them an email. And they'll ask you for your time and your treatment, and then they will book you. I recommend it in advance. I would hate for us to get there and then it's sold out so that you have disappointment. So if you're really a spa person and this is something you're looking forward to, and again, we're on the run for 2 weeks. So please take some downtime, take advantage, get yourself a nice massage or a mani-pedi or some other kind of service for you guys too. You know, our legs get tired, get a foot massage. Massages in Asia are great. And, you know, these are beautiful hotels. So I highly recommend that. I'm going to move now to page 10. We talked about the money for a minute when we got together to chat. We have 2 different currencies. Mostly everything is included in your package. We have a couple of dinners and a couple of lunches that are not included. Here's what I like to do. I'll take maybe 300 to 500 in cash, depending on my spending habits. Credit cards are widely accepted in most of these major tourist areas. But for the couple of times that we go to the market, I'm a negotiator. They love to negotiate there. I know not everybody's comfortable with it. If you want, I'll do it for you. But they're negotiators over there. So I like to have my small bills. They may take USD. So I'll have a little bit of my Vietnam dong. I'll have a little bit of my Siem Reap or my Cambodian reals, and I'll have my USD. So I'm ready to wheel and deal with whoever the vendor is. And the key about the money is just have new bills. If you order, you know, if you go to the bank and get some US bills, just make sure that they're not torn and they're in pretty good condition. I myself don't order my money in advance. I just go to the airport. When I arrive at my first destination, I hit the exchange bank and I get $100 in the local currency. You have a transfer picking you up, so you shouldn't need any money immediately, but that's what I like to do. Then that sets me up just in case I need some money within the first 24 hours, I have it. Okay, I'm going to move to page 11 to talk about the electrical currency. First, I'm going to move to, Here we go, theme nights.
Tammy, can I interrupt?
Yes,
Did you
yes, of
say
course.
you exchange the currency at the airport?
That's where I tend to do it. You're welcome to order it from your bank in advance. Some banks do it depending on where you live. If you're near a major city, a lot of banks would be able to give you the cash in advance. So that could be a preference. I personally get it when I get there.
Okay.
Yeah, at the airport. And because I'm only changing 100, it doesn't matter to me if it's 0.8 or 0.10, whatever the charge is, it's not that much on $100. So I go for convenience over best exchange
We,
rate.
we have any idea what the exchange rate is at this point?
Yeah, I can tell you, and I'll talk about this when we get there too, because we're gonna need some practice. 100,000 Vietnamese dong is $4. A million is $40. So you're gonna have $1 million note when you go for dinner and hand somebody for your dinner, it's $1 million. A million dong, right? So we'll do some practicing. Everybody has a little bit of a style. I like to choose a couple of rounded out numbers and I work with that and I play the higher lower game, right? So I know if a million, it's really $39. So if a million dong is 39, I round it to 40. So if it's $1,000,001, I know it's a little above $40. You can use your calculator if you want with the exact exchange rate. But again, I'm the wheeler dealer of the market. I have to be able to do my numbers quickly. So I like to round up. But you could go to xe.com. That's my favorite website, xe.com. And you can actually put in the two different currencies and do the exchange for, a single US dollar and you can get the equivalent. But I would do something more like, what is 100,000 dong and see what that is in USD, because if you put a USD and convert that to dong, it's going to be like a penny. You know what I mean? So I would pick a higher denomination because the exchange is quite, in fact, in many of the restaurants, they will have lopped off the 000. So let's say the $100,000 note, you have 100, comma 000. The menu will take off the second set of zeros. So you might see the menu item, it'll say 100, but it really means 100,000, which is $4. Okay, so we can talk about that when you can look it up at xe.com if you're good with numbers, which I know, Helen, you are. But for those of us that struggle with it, my recommendation just to pick one big round number, like 100,000 or 1,000,000, 4 and 40, and then do the higher lower game. But once we get there, if you have any questions, that's what I'm there for. And I'm happy to help you because nobody wants to, by the way, that's another story, but I'm going into my overtime now. I'll tell you on the trip how I tipped a guy in Africa a year's salary. So nobody likes to pay too much. So we'll do the best we can. But the thing in Asia is everything is inexpensive. So I try to give you relief knowing that even if you give someone $1 million, it's $40, and for $1,000,000 dong, it's 40. It's not going to break the bank. So that hopefully that gives you some peace of mind. So for the theme nights, we just have one theme night. It's going to be on the cruise, so we have plenty of time to shop before we get there. If you want to get your outfit there, we'll have a couple of times in Hanoi or at the market in Siem Reap. Red is such a popular color in Southeast Asia. It doesn't mean communism, what a lot of us think that, right? It means joy, luck, happiness. So you'll be able to find red items everywhere you go, and gold is another big theme. So those are the main colors for the Mid-Autumn Festival, or gold, yellow, orange. So I'm hoping that you might have a little something in your closet already. You don't have to go buy something new, but of course, if you want to bring a costume that's fitting, there's a thing called the doyen, but I believe that if you really want to do a doyen, we can get that in Hanoi or in Halong Bay. So probably Hanoi. So look in your closet, look for those colors, and think about accents while we're shopping in the markets once we get there. I'm gonna move now to page 12 for the electrical. Um, lots of moving parts. Most of the modern devices, like an iPhone, for example, my iPhone, I don't need to convert. I just need an adapter so that I am able to charge it in the type of wall plug that you're going to find. So you can see on the screen here, there's several different kinds. So in Vietnam, we talk about these different kinds of plugs, and in Cambodia, they also have similar, right? They have the same ones in Cambodia and Vietnam. And then just to make it interesting, on the Saigon, which is the cruise, they are European two-prong. So the recommendation is to get yourself a multi-country adapter so that you are able to, it's kind of like a Rubik's Cube, right? You push one in place and that's how you plug your device into the wall. You need the converter if the device you're plugging in doesn't self-control the voltage, right? So in the USA, we have 110, but in Europe and these other countries that we're going to be visiting, it's 220 and 240. That just means it's a lot stronger. So what is the consequence? If you plug even if you put the adapter in and you plug a curling iron, this is one of the things that's the newer, if you have an older curling iron, it probably doesn't switch current or switch voltage. So you need the adapter and the converter. So the converter converts electrical voltage. And in this case, it steps it down. If it doesn't get stepped down and you just get your adapter and you plug, because it'll work, the adapter with the two holes will go into the wall. You'll put your curling iron into the two flat prongs, which are the US device. And before you know it, you just burned the front of your bangs right off your head. So you want to be able to step down that electrical voltage from 240, which is super powerful, to the 110. So there's a lot of information about that. I think the letter says a lot, but here's another cool thing that on the Avalon Saigon, they also have USB. So if your phone has a USB adapter, instead of the actual two flat prongs, you can just charge your phone with the USB. Unfortunately, I have the new phone, so it's a USB. So I have to have a USB to USB converter. So we'll figure all that out. But if anyone has like questions, if you want to show me what you have, I can help you before we go. And certainly once we get there, this whole first day is a Jenga always, with everybody trying to figure it out. But that's what I'm there for. If you have questions before you go, just go ahead and contact us, and I'm happy to go into depth on that. Next, I'm going to talk about weather and attire. I'm going to move to page 15. And overall, the weather is going to be warm, summer, like 75 to 85-ish. The majority of our program from Siem Reap to Ho Chi Minh City, which is, 12 of the days, it's going to be warm. So be prepared for that. While we're in Hanoi, it'll be a little bit cooler. We're expecting anywhere from 64 to 77. Obviously, nighttime will be cooler than the daytime. So this is where, for those of us going up to Hanoi, I'm going to recommend the following: a lightweight jacket. We shouldn't get rain, but if you want to bring an umbrella, if you're an umbrella guy, go ahead. It's a low precipitation period. The rainy season has just ended by the time we get there. So a lightweight jacket. I'm going to bring a scarf, and I'm going to look for a golden red scarf when I get there too, but I'll bring a scarf just in case I get a little chilly. And then I'll have a pair of shoes. I'm going to wear some kind of a comfortable day-to-day pair of shoes. That's going to be my go-to. All of the hotels have slippers and robes, so when you're going to the spa and everything, you'll have that available in the hotels. And so I'll probably bring a pair of sneakers of some sort, and then I'll bring maybe some kind of flip-floppy shoe to go to the pool. And, maybe a light slip-on to walk around in my outfits in the evening. or I may just wear my gym shoes, right? So it's not, you won't be embarrassed or out of place if you're wearing your day shoes, but if you want to bring some like flats or something for the evening, that would be okay if you can fit it in your suitcase. So, again, the recommendation is always layers. So when I'm up in North Vietnam, I'll probably have a t-shirt and I might wear the jacket over it. I'll have my uniform shirt on with a little jacket, or I may wear something like a fleece or a sweatshirt with a hoodie. Have that with me in the day with a t-shirt underneath it. So if it gets up to 77 and I'm a little warm, but we are going to be on a cruise up in Ha Long Bay, so we'll be on the water. Bring your bathing suits. Even though we may not swim on the cruise, our hotel, I mean, I hope you all looked at the website for the hotel in Ha Long Bay, and it's phenomenal. So the morning that we depart, we have some time in the morning, we'll have some time in the afternoon. There's a beautiful pool. It's all overlooking. We're right on Ha Long Bay. It's spectacular. So I'm hoping it gets warm enough that we get a little swim in, but I'm going to be prepared with my hoodie and my scarf just in case. I'm going to move now to page 16, talk about health and safety. Key things here, we're not drinking the water anywhere. Even in the hotel, even though it's 5-star, they're supposed to have filtered water. I don't trust it. It's not going to be worth me getting sick. And so the organisms over there are just way too different than what we're used to here. So I'm going to drink bottled water. It'll be available to you at all times. I'm even going to use it to brush my teeth. You're okay in the shower, just don't drink it. I don't know that people drink in the shower, but sometimes I've been asked that question. What if I got some in my mouth? It's okay. We just don't want to imbibe any water that comes from a tap. So that's the main key thing. Watching what we eat to make sure that it's something that's not washed, especially when it comes to street food. Hotel restaurants are relatively safe. Again, they're 5-star, but you know, we'll keep our eyes peeled, and cooked foods are fine. Raw lettuces, questionable. You know, we never know. So it's if you have a tender tummy, these are the kinds of things you want to be mindful. There's other people that can go out and they'll eat street food the whole time and then nothing will happen to them. I'm not one of those people. So the other thing that I want to say is bring some bug spray. Again, low factor for malaria, but somebody asked me about the Japanese encephalitis. Both of them through mosquito bites. We're not in high risk areas, but I'm going to bring bug spray with DEET. And I know that's not the best, but I'd rather do that than get either of those things on an odd chance. So I'm going to bring that with me. And then anything else as far as inoculations, vaccines, nothing is mandatory. We're going to we're deferring to your own medical professional. Everybody has their own health concerns, and your doctor knows you best. So follow his or her directions. So the last thing I'm going to say is the letter has a lot of information. When we get to Vietnam and Cambodia, I have prepared a day-to-day program with everything we're doing, and I'll give this to you when we get there. It's 5 pages long, and so anything that's missing from the day-to-day, we'll give this to you when you get there, and it will also be in the app from Avalon Waterways. So you have as comprehensive information. And lastly, I would just say everything is subject to change. We know with travel, everybody on this trip is a very well-traveled individual. So you guys have good armor already. We're going to be together for 2 weeks. We want to be respectful with each other. And I am there to serve. It's not vacation. I'll look like I'm having fun because I have fun everywhere I go and everything I do, but I'm there to serve everybody on this vacation. No request is too small. No request is too big. No time is inappropriate. I'm there for you. And so myself, along with the crew from Avalon Waterways, want to make this an exceptional experience, life-changing if we're able. And if there's anything that comes up along the way, please don't think it a burden, no matter what I'm doing. You just, you ask and you shall receive. So what I'd like to do right now is, we're almost at the hour, and thank you for your patience, but I'd like to see if there are any other questions that you have so that we make sure you're ready to go.
Tammy, on the e-visa, how many copies of that should we bring?
I think that I would bring a couple of copies of each of the e-visas. Bring 2.
And it looks like this, doesn't it?
Let me see, Ron. Let me see if let me pull up mine here. Let's see. Let me see here. My visas are here. So here's the Cambodia. Cambodia one looks like this.
Yes.
Okay. It's my name. It's got the importance. I'm trying to bump this up, guys. It's not, let me do it this way. The critical information is here. Everybody can see this. I've got a 1-month stay, and it expires on the 18th of December. And this is for Cambodia. And then for the Vietnam, let's see here. List. Cambodia, Vietnam. Oh, there, I have yours, Ron. Okay, let's see. Where's my Vietnam visa? I don't
Aren't they
have
the
it.
same?
I don't have it
No,
here.
they're different.
The
Yeah,
Cambodia one, I believe they said they wanted at least 2 or 3 copies.
Okay, so I thought it was 2. Let's take 2 and 1 for good measure. And
And this is the Vietnam visa that you're looking for.
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see if I have it here. Let me look in my, bear with me a second. I'll take a look in my drive.
Turn it that way if that helps anybody. But that's the big thing is the Vietnam.
Yeah, I talked to everybody about it, and Ron, I know yours is okay because I did it. So if you want, you guys, when I send the quick recording of this tomorrow via email to everybody, I'll include my copies of my visas so that you can see what they look like.
Hams, I don't think I have that one.
Yes,
We can- we can talk.
I'll send them. I'll send them to you again. No problem.
That's what I like, no problem.
Yeah. I
The,
got you.
on the baggage, and I haven't measured mine, but I have the good sized one. That one is probably too big. I'd have to go down a notch. to get-
62 linear inches, Ron. So just take your tape measure out and measure the length, the width, and the depth. And those 3 numbers should add up to 62 or less.
Got it.
Tammy, I'm a terrible packer. So from what you said about clothes and what I've been trying to read online to find stuff, everything I read is something different. Can we wear shorts or do we have to have our knees covered?
You can wear shorts. Yeah. Oh, thanks for bringing it up. Yes, there is in temples. When we go to temples, we have to, short shorts, cutoffs, midriffs, shoulders should be covered. Again, having a scarf will be helpful because you can wrap it around you or put it over your shoulders. So we're able to wear shorts.
Okay.
But on the days that we go into a temple, we have to cover. So
Do
those.
they not, I'm sorry, do they not supply covers like they do in Thailand or whatever?
Not always.
Okay.
So it's better to, because you would hate to get all the way over there and then have to miss out on something because you didn't have it. I'll have extra. I'll have extra scarves.
So it's just basically summer clothes, sundresses, shorts, whatever you would typically wear at
Yes,
home. Just, okay,
yes.
okay. That makes it a lot easier because I was trying to find stuff with like long dresses and, all those things like we had to do in Egypt, but apparently only if we go to the temples.
Right.
Okay.
And
How many
probably,
temples are we going to?
Oh, I don't have a count, but I will look at that when I send you the email for tomorrow. When I send the email, I'll take a look. I'm thinking 3 to 4
Okay.
based on the itinerary that I, worked on today.
Tammy, you mentioned one of our special dress ups is the Moon Festival. What is the second one?
Oh, the second one is float and chill parties,
Okay.
which
Okay,
are, yes, those are our
Okay.
relaxation at the pools. I've got 2 scheduled and then we may have more. Page 11 here, let me go here. Float and chill parties. So
Okay.
also all of our hotels have amazing pools. And so when we have some afternoon of downtime, if you're not in the spa, whoever doesn't do spa or whoever's not on additional excursions, some members did book additional excursions on their own, will be hosting some float and chill parties. So make sure you get a nice new bathing suit, a nice little cover up. So you look your best.
Tammy, I have a question about SIM cards. My international plan is really expensive. So I, keep reading online, you can get a SIM card, but I don't know what that is or how it works or if it's a good idea.
What kind of phone do you have?
Verizon,
Okay,
Samsung,
you have a Samsung one.
Android,
iPhone.
Okay, so
Android.
let me make a suggestion to you.
okay.
I have Verizon, and recently, I don't know the last time you checked in with them, but they just now the plan I had, I think it's, I don't know, $80 a month or whatever it is, 70, 80. I used to pay $10 a day when I traveled internationally. Well, about
Right.
2 months ago, I called and they've updated it. I now pay nothing for anything that I text or call from a single country. So in other words, when I was in Italy in September, it was exactly the same cost as my home plan. I mean,
Huh.
this is exciting. So
Yeah, I'll call them.
give them a call and tell them my travel agent said there's a new plan, and as long as even when we switch countries, and it's automated. So when I fly from the US to Italy, the minute I got to Italy, it said, "Welcome to Italy, you have the new plan." And I called my mom from there because it was her birthday, free.
Hmm.
Free
Okay.
99, free texting, free data. I think I got up to a certain amount of data for like social media and looking at maps and things. The data had a maximum, but if you're just texting, fantastic. So give them a
Hmm.
call.
and that's
Okay.
just for one country though, and we'll be in 2 countries.
Yeah, so I didn't call them about that, Helen, but I'm gonna guess that when we switch from Vietnam to Cambodia, then it'll just move over to Cambodia.
But with charge.
It'll be the same plan and it'll work because now I'm just doing it from Cambodia back to the US. So,
Oh, I see what you're, okay, okay, I'll check with them. Yep.
yeah, I mean, that's like better than sliced bread. I couldn't believe it because I was doing the $10 a day. So a
Yeah,
vacation
Right.
that's
is
what I have now.
right. And so then if you combine that with your WhatsApp, nobody should have any kind of a bill when you go home. Now the AT&T folks, I haven't heard. Does anybody have AT&T that has some good
I've got
updates?
AT&T.
But
And they
what's
just
the-
upped their $10 a day to $12 a day.
Ooh, okay, time to switch to Verizon.
Yeah.
Tammy, excuse me, the thing of WhatsApp, though, it only works if we have Wi-Fi. And according to what I've read, we only get Wi-Fi in the lounges. It's not going to be in our rooms.
You know, I looked up by hotel and some of them have it in the room, so it's a little bit, I think that some of them will have it in the room, Helen. I'm
Okay.
kind of skeptical. I read the same thing. I use AI to do the research and some of them said in the lobby, but I can't imagine that we're not gonna have it in the room. So, but the thing is, so here's the thing, with Verizon, I still use WhatsApp on my 5G. So the benefit of, so, and if this is complex, let me know, guys. I mean, a lot of you are way beyond me on this, so I don't mean to sound demeaning, but you can use WhatsApp with your 5G. The benefit of WhatsApp is if you don't have any cellular service, you can, piggyback on somebody else's Wi-Fi. But if you have 5G and you're on Verizon, for example, which I am, I can just use my 5G for WhatsApp because they're not charging me anymore now with this new program. Yeah. And if nobody's a Hyatt member, I would definitely join Hyatt for your Hyatt rewards. Because I don't know if we'll earn the Hyatt points with this one because it's a group booking with Avalon Waterways, but it certainly doesn't hurt. Doesn't cost anything to join. And when you check in, you can give them your Hyatt number. And if it's eligible, you'll earn some points.
Great.
Yeah, and if you're already a Hyatt, like I'm a Hyatt Gold Passport, that might give you benefits when you check in. So like you're saying, you don't have internet in the room, maybe there is if you're of a certain level with Hyatt Gold Passport.
What about the odds? I get in at 6:30 in the morning. What do you think are the odds of getting an early check-in and how early?
Yes, you know what? I'm going to be almost ahead of everybody. For all the guests that are coming to Hanoi, I will be there ahead of everybody. I know exactly who's coming in. There's like 5 of you that are coming in on the 15th early, so I'm going to see if I can have your rooms ready. I can't, it's not my ultimate decision, but I'm definitely, that's on my hit list of conversations to have with them, so I'll do my best.
Otherwise, sleep in the lobby, right?
Yeah, well, I'll meet everybody who's
Done
arriving
that
in
before.
Hanoi, so we'll have something to do. I'll keep you awake.
And I
Okay.
think several of us are coming in at almost midnight on the 15th. So, yeah.
That's right.
Mm.
So half comes in super early and the other half comes in later. But I'm going to meet all of you. So that night for dinner, that first night, for those of us who come in early, I've got just a hotel dinner planned. So if you're tired, you can bypass that because dinner isn't included on the 15th. So I'll have it set up. If you want to join for dinner, we'll do an early dinner. But I'll be meeting and greeting all of you as you come in later too, just, and so I have my WhatsApp on. So any issues that you have, please keep me informed and I'll be waiting for you when you get there.
Okay.
How far is the airport from the hotel?
About 30 minutes, depending. I mean, at 6 and at midnight, it's not going to be as much traffic. But has everybody seen a movie filmed in Vietnam? There's a lot of people there, a lot of traffic. Oh gosh. There was a movie I'm going to recommend. It's a definite rom-com. I'm going to look it up right now. If anybody had any more questions,
How
while
does it
this movie.
how does it compare to Istanbul?
I think it's more people,
More
honestly.
people?
Yeah.
Karen, I come in the same time you do.
To Hanoi.
Tammy will work this out.
Yeah. So if you guys are, and it's on the letter, right? So if you're, let me go back to page or you can see that
I
on
think
the,
Susan and I are on the same flight.
right, so you can see who's on. Right, Kim put these in alphabetical order by your first name, so I'm looking at, I have another version of this in chronological order, so let me, just takes me a minute longer, but yeah, so this is a way for you to see if somebody else is on your flight. Yeah. I see, 4 of the members are coming in earlier on their own, so, okay, so here's my movie, A Tourist's Guide to Love. It's on Netflix. It's about a travel agent, much less, who gets an assignment to go to Vietnam to check out a new local vendor. And I think it's superb. It's a rom-com, but it's filmed in Vietnam and it's got a lot of great scenery and it's got some really good scenes. So if you have time before you go, I recommend A Tourist's Guide to Love.
And anything except Netflix?
Oh, well, you know what? It might be available on something else. Let's see. Is this available on any other networks?
Yeah, my pickleball buddies are always telling me, watch this, watch this. I was like, I don't have Netflix. I don't have Netflix.
Yeah, this
Everybody's hooked to Netflix.
Don't feel
Yeah.
bad. I don't have Netflix either.
Like,
one-
don't tell
Aw.
me if it's on Netflix.
Well, you know what? I will stream it for you when we get on the trip, when we're on the cruise one afternoon, when we're just sitting around, maybe we'll stream it. See if we can
Okay.
get it to come up. Yeah,
I'll hunt it down too. I'll see if I can find it someplace else.
yeah, it's cute. Any other questions?
I don't think so. Oh, meds, like vitamins and stuff like that. I mean, are they really going to be picky about having in original containers and
I mean, that is the standard recommendation. I have to tell you, I don't do that, but I don't have I just pretty much have vitamins. So I think the more important thing would be that if you have something, I mean, having the bottle is helpful because if we do have to fill a prescription, take a picture of it at least. Because if we do have to find a replacement while we're on the road, it'll be good to know that you have that. We might be able to find it if you need to replace it for some reason. So take a picture of your bottle at the very least. I just have to tell you, you're supposed to do that. But I mean, I'm not kidding. In 45 years of travel with groups going everywhere, I've never had anybody get stopped. So watch now, I will this trip because I said that, but I've never had anybody get stopped. So, but guys, if anybody's doing CBD, don't bring it because that is definitely a big no-no. Like, I mean, sorry. I'm a hippie myself, but don't, yeah, no, even if it's legal here, it's not legal and you will be in serious trouble. And I'm really good at getting people out of trouble, but I don't think I could help with that. So whatever you do, leave that stuff at home.
Yeah, think Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's not, that's a serious crime. So, just in case, I didn't even think about that, but since you brought it up. All right, guys. Well, ladies and gentlemen, rather, thanks for everything. And tomorrow I will send the recording. It'll come from service@singlestravelintl.com. I will add a copy of my visa and I think there was one other thing that came up today. Does anybody remember what that other item was?
it was something I asked you and I can't remember what it is now.
Oh, okay, Barb. Well, you know what? Text me.
Must
if you-
not be that important.
Hey, we're over 50 and we're not ashamed. So text me later if you think of it, and I'll put that in the email for you guys tomorrow. But I really enjoyed connecting with everybody today. I cannot wait to travel with you and just make sure that this is an amazing vacation.
Sounds like a plan.
All righty. Have a great evening. Good
You
night.
too.
Bye.
Bye.